session on the 21st of this month. IMF progress review talks begin. Train transport as usual. A local vaccine manufacturing plant which is functioning successfully. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says complaints will be filed against relevant parties which accused him for over financial fraud. The Libyan floods killed 20,000 persons.
Now on to those and more stories in detail on today's top story. The 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly will take place in UN headquarters in New York on the 18th of this month.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to address the Assembly on the 21st. The President's speech will revolve around the theme Rebuilding Trust and Reigniting Global Solidarity, accelerating action on the 2030 Agenda and its sustainable development goals towards peace, prosperity, progress and sustainability for all. He will lend his voice to the Climate Ambition Summit convened by the UN Secretary-General, where a collective global will hasten the transition to a more equitable, renewable, energy-based, climate-resilient global economy will be the central focus. During his stay in New York, President Wickremesinghe will also meet Antonio Guterres, the Secretary-General of the United Nations, and engage in discussions with leaders of member countries.
The first discussion on the progress review of the proposed new economic reforms of the IMF has taken place at the President's office today. The talks will be conducted over a period of 2 weeks. The final meeting is scheduled on the 26th of this month, presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Today's meeting was attended by State Minister Shehan Semasinghas, Chief of Staff of President Sagala Ratnayake, President Secretary Saman Ekanaike and the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe. The International Monetary Fund was represented by Head of the Mission, Peter Burrow.
The first review of the Extended Fund Facility Programme of the International Monetary Fund to Sri Lanka commenced today. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghas said the review is a significant milestone towards securing the second tranche for Sri Lanka. State Minister Shehan Semasinghas said that they are currently conducting the local debt restructuring process. There is another step to be implemented that will take place in the upcoming weeks. There are various political entities who try to delay the local debt restructuring process in order to weaken the Sri Lankan economy to see that IMF targets would not be met. The minister further said that they are expecting the Sri Lankan economy to be further strengthened by December and reach a positive economic growth in 2024. State Minister Ranjit Simalapitiya says Sri Lanka will receive the second instalment of the IMF amounting to nearly 330 million rupees after the discussion. State Minister Ranjit Simalapitiya said that the first review of the International Monetary Fund takes place from today to the 27th of this month. They are expecting to receive the second concessionary instalment after the end of the discussion.
Organised criminal gang leader Gane Mulle Sanjeeva was arrested by the immigration and emigration officers at the Katunayake airport. He arrived in the island by UL-182 aircraft of the Sri Lankan Airlines from Kathmandu, Nepal, using a false passport. He was apprehended when he tried to escape custody of the immigration and immigration authorities. The suspect was handed over to officials of the Criminal Investigation Department after recording statements.
The Locomotive Operative Engineers Trade Union has decided to end the railway strike. The Department of Railways says that accordingly, train services will be normalized with effect from today. 84 railway engine drivers have commenced a work stoppage based on several demands since the 12th of this month. The strike action has caused extreme difficulties to the train passengers. An overcrowding in train compartments has led to the death of a passenger after falling from the train. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has issued a Gazette notification making railways as an essential service. A media communique issued in this connection said striking drivers who fail to report for work will be considered as those who have vacated the service. A discussion between Locomotive Operative Engineers Trade Union and the railway authorities was conducted last evening. According to the agreements reached at the talks, the union has decided to conclude trade union action. Secretary of the union, CM Senanaika, says train operations have returned to normal. The Department of Railways says train operators will be carried out according to the scheduled timetable from today. Large crowds were seen flocking to railway stations to go to their workplaces upon conclusion of the work stoppage.
The final rites of the remains of the student Dinet Pereira, who was killed in an accident near Horape railway station, were held at the cemetery of St. Sebastian's Church in Moragada this evening. He died due to injuries sustained in an accident near the railway station as a result of sudden strike conducted by railway engine drivers. The Department of Railway has handed over a sum of 500,000 rupees to the members of the family of the victim as a payment of compassion. The amount has been presented according to a request by Minister of Transport Dr. Bandula Gunawardena through cabinet approval. The Secretary of the President and the relevant Ministry Secretary have been enlightened on the payment. A large number of students of the school of the victim as well as residents has paid their last respect to the boy.
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says charges will be filed before an investigation commissions of the Department of Criminal Investigation and Bribery and Corruption over several accusations of financial frauds against him. He has made these remarks at a media briefing held at the Department of Government Information today. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that there was an allegation by a person employed in the railway department that present railway minister is a corrupt personality and such a corrupt politicians had never held the railway ministerial post before. Minister Gunawardena further said that this person has also told the press that an Indian company has bribed him about 50 million rupees. It is to be highlighted that this is a false allegation to defame his personality. This employee had told the railway strike was called off if he informed the media about it. Then he should be the one who organized the strike. He added that an innocent youth died due to this strike. There is an ongoing investigation with regard to this person related to overtime allowances by the ministry as well as the Bribery Commission. There are investigations are being conducted by the Criminal Investigation Department with regard to selling of tickets to foreigners through a project named Millennium Train Services, similar to the Allah Odyssey. This person has a long criminal history of frauds and corruption. During his tenure as the Transport Minister, he added that he had never given contracts to any Indian company. However, the minister said that he will complain to the Bribery Commission and the Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the allegations conducted by this person. If the allegations were found to be true, the minister promised that he would quit politics. The minister also expressed opinion regarding ChannelEye of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. The minister said that the Rupavahini Corporation had struggled to pay the EPF/ETF for the employees and the monthly electricity bill. They leased ChannelEye to a company. Several politicians and fractions accused that the lease amount was too low and a proper bidding process should have been done. The minister added that now bidding advertisement is displayed on ChannelEye.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira says the price of eggs and chicken would decline from next year. He also pointed out that the need would not arise for importation of eggs from next year. The minister has made these observations participating in a media discussion in All in the Park for a Stable Country at the Presidential Media Centre today. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahinda Amaravira, speaking today at the Presidential Media Centre news briefing under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country, assured that egg and chicken prices will likely decrease from next year and remain stable thereafter. He also confirmed there will be no need for egg imports from next year. Minister Mahinda Amravira highlighted that country's poultry and egg production industry, despite being self-sufficient, experienced a decline due to the reduced animal feed production caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the economic crisis. Currently, entire poultry and egg production for the nation is handled by the private sector, with total chicken population across the farms exceeding 3,420,000. The minister further said that worth noting that most of these chickens are expected to start laying eggs by December, and industrialists anticipate a significant increase in egg production in the country thereafter. He also said that industrialists are given the opportunity to import maize production for the feed required for the poultry industry.
Sri Lanka will assume the chairmanship of the Indian Ocean Rim Association (IORA) for the period of 2023 to 2025 at the forthcoming 23rd Council of Ministers meeting hosted by Sri Lanka. This is the second time that Sri Lanka will assume the IORA chairmanship, having previously served as the chair from 23 to 24.
IORA ministerial meeting scheduled to be held in October in Colombo. The meeting will be attended by ministerial level, basically, and ideally the foreign minister level delegates from the members of the IORA. IORA, you know, Indian Ocean Rim Association, which is now was founded and established in 1997. Indian Ocean Rim Association is a very, very important organization. It has caught the attention of the world. We have now 23 member states and 11 dialogue partners. IORA's primary objective are promoting peace, stability and sustainable development in the Indian Ocean region. There are many foreign minister level or ministerial level participation has been confirmed. Sri Lanka has selected strengthening the regional architecture, reinforcing Indian Ocean identity as the theme for its chairmanship. As at yesterday, we had 16 countries have confirmed ministerial level representations for the forthcoming ministerial summit, which will be held in Colombo. In 1971, under Mrs. Rimao Bandaranayake, Sri Lanka launched a resolution in the UNGA where we called to consider the Indian Ocean as a zone of peace. We are very much interested in to continue to do so.
President's senior advisor on national security and Chief of Staff Sagala Ratnayaka, at a recent discussion presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, also underscored Sri Lanka's unique position in the Indian Ocean region, highlighting the nation's ongoing economic recovery following the COVID-19 pandemic and the implementation of a robust reform and revival programs.
At the discussion titled High-Ranking Tourist Arrivals in the Recent Times and the Vision of the Indian Ocean, the President's advisor unveiled a bold vision for the Indian Ocean region, highlighting Sri Lanka's pivotal role in shaping the future of the strategically vital region. He added that Sri Lanka's new reconstruction process and the economic stability would become invaluable in enhancing the international cooperation. The event was also attended by former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya and high-ranking diplomats.
Country with closed
high-level interactions with all the countries.
Our policy in the Indian Ocean is a free and open Indo-Pacific, bringing the Pacific also into it, which includes maritime safety and security in the areas of safety of undersea cables, the illegal fishing, illicit trafficking, smuggling, human trafficking, and also fighting against climatic disasters and maritime pollution. We saw it ourselves with the hull of the Express Pearl. Then on the other side, we also have our responsibilities in HADR. So that being our main areas of focus, we are now repositioning ourselves. If we were in crisis and if we were messy, nobody would have looked at us. Nobody would really want to work with us or depend on us. So it is the reform process, the strong undertaking of the reform process and the stabilization and the growth that's following it that is giving us this niche. And to Sri Lanka, key to this will be debt restructuring. The domestic debt restructuring process is now nearing completion. We still have to enact the Central Bank Act, and following that we can finish the domestic debt restructuring process and convert the treasury bills into the bonds.
It was a good opportunity for the president to explain to the Japanese Prime Minister about his reforms on the finance matters and also governance matters, which are very important to regain the trust of the Japanese government and business community to Sri Lanka.
But three aspects I would just like to point out. Of course, the most important outcome of the visit of Honorable President is the connectivity document, and that sums up the vision. Connectivity is the keyword in all its dimensions. I think the India-Sri Lanka bilateral relationship dynamics in a sense captures our vision and effort for cooperation for the entire Indian Ocean region and Indo-Pacific.
Of the visit of our president was also to express our commitment to stand alongside Sri Lanka in this economic situation. France is the fourth bilateral creditor of Sri Lanka, and the French Development Agency, once again, just to give one number, has project totaling 375 million euros in Sri Lanka.
China has been the country with the closest high-level exchange with Sri Lanka. Just as you mentioned, last month, the Honorable Prime Minister and Speaker visited China respectfully. The next month, the President Ranil Wickremesinghe will attend the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. This is a very historical event in the development of bilateral relations between our two countries.
Meantime, there has been an expression of critical opinion in the recent past over exploring medicine to the island by expending massive amounts of money and not producing adequate drugs locally.
Yet, the Sri Lankan Board of Investment is extending substantial contribution for the production of local pharmaceutical items. The national television was engaged in a fact-finding survey on a vaccine production company at the ChannelEye Investment Promotion Zone. The Yarden Laboratories private company has commenced manufacturing drugs in the ChannelEye export zone with an investment of $4.5 million around 8 months ago. The factory is currently successfully engaged in fulfilling the increasing demands for medicines, including 10 anesthetic vaccines on diabetes, high blood pressure and heart diseases. Special emphasis is being made on the quality of drugs and innovative products. The company hopes to expand the current workforce of 150 persons to around 500 in times ahead. Around 15 drug manufacturing institutes are functioning under the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka, fulfilling around 15% of local drug requirement. The value of medicine produced at these factories exceeds 18 billion rupees.
Minister Pavitra Manyarachi says a sum of 170 million rupees will be spent on the construction of a bridge across Valave River which runs across the Udavalava National Wildlife Park. The minister said this at a ceremony in Udavalava yesterday. Further said that erection of such a bridge would strengthen the attraction of the local and foreign tourists to the area. The flow of Valave River across the Udavalava Park divides 10,000 hectares of land on one side and a further 20,000 hectares on the other side. The creation of the new bridge would amalgamate both the sections of the wildlife park. The construction process on the 40-meter long bridge has commenced yesterday. The work is to be completed in 6 months, allowing any heavy vehicles to use the bridge. Currently, tourists who have to park are compelled to purchase entrance tickets from Handagiri and Udavalava access points. The construction of the bridge would enable to watch the entire park from one entrance ticket.
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena was engaged in an inspection tour at the Ratmalana railway yard today. The aim of his visit was to extend thanks to the railway workers who have not extended support to the strike. It has been revealed when the minister inquired on the workers' problems that there is a shortage of skilled workers out of labour force of 3,000. The minister has pointed out that the steps will be taken to recruit around 100 workers who have undergone training at the German Technical Training Institute. The minister further said that funds are not available to purchase new railway engines and therefore it is the hope to repair the existing engines. The minister also told media that although the daily need of engines is around 100, the current capacity is restricted to 70 engines. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that steps have been taken to add 6 train engines into service as quickly as possible. There are about 3,000 employees working in the railway factory. These employees were not engaging in strikes to gain demands. These employees always respected their duties and accomplished them timely.
Pakistan High Commission in Colombo organised a seminar on Gandhara Buddhist heritage on Pakistan yesterday with the participation of Mahasangha and Buddhist scholars. A memorandum of understanding between Pakistan and Sri Lanka on promotion of the religious tourism and collaboration in an preservation and projection of Gandhara heritage was also an advanced stage. The seminar was held at Nandaganda International Institute for Buddhist Studies at Manelvatta Temple in Kalaniya. Many dignitaries, including prominent monks, former President Maithripala Sirisena, former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, members of diplomatic and large number of students, and Minister of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs, Honorable Vidura Vikrama Naika, were present in the occasion. The immense potential of Pakistan possesses in religious and cultural tourism and the need for institutional linkages between the two countries was highlighted at the seminar.
When we are considering the civilization of Pakistan, especially the Gandhar, and also civilization of Sri Lanka, these are the two centers very much related to evolution of mankind, with very specific cultural affinities and diverse cultural utopias, I should say that. Hence, a distinct mode of culture has been developed. Could have been influenced by the other cultures, of course, but we have to preserve that. I mentioned to the High Commissioner about the very catchy words of where every stone tells a story, that is Gandhar. We all agree on that. What do we have in Sri Lanka? Every sand particle is revered in this land. Every sand particle is revered in this land. That is why I don't wear footwear. I don't want to trample this land, this holy land. Every sand particle is revered in this land. So these are the two giant cultures meeting, exchanging, not only the cultural values, but beyond that.
As we delve into the depths of history, we find ourselves enchanted by the unique fusion of Persian, Greek, and Indus civilization influences that gave birth to the Gandhara civilization stretching from the 1st to the 5th centuries AD. The kingdom of Taxila, an eminent seat of learning in Gandhara, situated right in the middle of the beautiful and serene tourism places, attracted scholars from far and wide, fostering an intellectual environment that led to the advancements in various fields, including the art, architecture, medicine, and mathematics. The superb craftsmanship and sculpting of techniques of this period continue to mesmerize us all even today. Ladies and gentlemen, it fills me with pride to say that Pakistan has made concerted efforts to preserve and promote the Buddhist heritage of Gandhara civilization. We take great responsibility in safeguarding these invaluable treasures, working closely with international partners to conserve the ancient sites and expand research and expositions.
Local big onion farmers say a kilo of local big onions should be sold at a price of around 250 rupees. They further point out that in order to encourage farmers to engage in cultivation of local varieties in the coming year, a reasonable price should be provided for the big onion harvest of the current season. It has also been pointed out that this year's local big onion cultivation has been dropped by 90%. The harvesting season is now on and the biggest portion of local big onion cultivation is reported from Galevela. The other areas where substantial cultivations have taken place are the districts of Matale, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa. 90% out of the 3,700 hectares of local big onion cultivations have been abandoned. The current purchasing price of a kilo of local big onions in the market is between 180 to 200 rupees. Farmers have accused devious strategies of imported big onion traders that have compelled them to give up big onion farming.
We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
நான் பேங்க் போயிட்டு வரேன். இப்ப
hot and spicy fun vibe එක විවර කරන්න beat එක remake කරන්න to win හදවත වවලා යන්න ගින්දර passion කරන්න fun උතුරන්න කොත්තමි kick එක මෙන්න TikTok viral යනවා නැතිල trending වෙනවා hot පහසක් නැවසෙනවා
Now on to foreign news. United Nations World Meteorological Organization says that most of the thousands of deaths in the Libyan floods could have been avoided. United Nations World Meteorological Organization says many deaths could have been avoided if there had been a regular weather forecasting service in Libya. The Libyan authorities say they did provide information about the extent of Storm Daniel. The Libyan National Meteorological Center issued a statement earlier this week insisting that it had warned authorities about the rainfall 72 hours before the floods.
Prima kottumi pantamai
It's all the way about the Asia Cup and it's a crucial match that is being playing at the R. Premadasa Stadium. Sri Lanka is playing against Pakistan. Bringing you the details now.
Commencement of play was delayed by several hours due to the inclement weather condition this afternoon. Captain of the Pakistani team, Babar Azam, decided to bat first after his team won the toss. Today's match is restricted to 45 overs. Two changes have taken place in the Sri Lankan team. Kusal Janit Pereira has been recalled to the team in place of Dimut Kararatne. In addition, Pramod Madushan has replaced Kasun Rajitha.
Now a lot of chaos and a lot of drama, but a cup that we've all been laying our eyes on. The ICC 2023 World Cup trophy was displayed today and we saw crowds gathering just to take pictures and witness it.
The local display of the global trophy got underway at World Trade Center in Colombo today. It was exhibited until 2 p.m. at the center and thereafter brought to one goal face around 3 p.m. for the public until 8 p.m. Upon Sri Lankan tour, the ICC World Cup Trophy 2023 will be brought to the host country of India.
Prima kottumi pantamai
That's it. That's a look at Rupavahini News for tonight. Together with Owen, I'm Sharon, wishing you a very pleasant evening. Good night.
Good night.